So people, as I promised you earlier, we will be discussing about the Balochistan issue as well, as we do not have, we literally covered most of the news today. And 5.8% increase in elections since January, and complex structure being raised in Parkland. So we have covered most of the news. So let's move on with our board. Where is my board? Here it is. Why can't I see the board? All right, the board is there. I'll just okay. Here is the board, and let's start with what is happening in Balochistan, a province of the largest province of Pakistan. It takes some time for the blackboard to appear for us. So today we will discuss about Balochistan. All right. So spelling BAL. Okay. In fact, how do I switch? Okay. So before we move on to the whiteboard, let's start with the history of Balochistan as to, yes. So the Balochistan region is administratively divided among three countries, that is Pakistan, Afghanistan and Iran. That is the geographical importance, people. Why did I come to this? So that we understand why it is important for Pakistan to have Balochistan as a part of their nation. And it all starts in 1947-48, when India and Pakistan got their independence. So as we all know, there were some princely states also. And one of the princely states was the Khan of Kalat. So that was what Balochistan was known earlier, Khan of Kalat. And so Kalat basically was forcefully occupied by Pakistan. They wanted to be an independent state, but they acceded to Pakistan in a very, very anonymous or decision that was taken, or I would say under very different circumstances. So owing to which, since the accession of, it's something similar to what happened in Hyderabad, which was also a princely state, and also Jammu and Kashmir, another princely state being ruled by, Hari Singh Nalwa at that point in time. So, and they acceded to India. Similarly, Khan of Kalat acceded to Pakistan. But the revolution started from day one, as the brother of the president then of Khan of Kalat, he was against this. He was the lone man who actually fought the battle for several years. And later on, he flew to Afghanistan, and from there he continued the revolt. And since then, we have witnessed numerous revolts, people. So, let's read into this about Balochistan. The Balochistan region is split between three countries, Iran, Afghanistan and Pakistan. Administratively, it comprises of Pakistani province of Balochistan, the Iranian province of Sistan and Balochistan, and the southern areas of Afghanistan, which include Nimruz, Helmand and Kandahar province. It borders the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa region to the north, Sindh and Punjab to the east, and Iranian regions to the west. Its southern coastline, including Makran coast, which is washed by the Arabian Sea, in particular by its western part, Gulf of Oman. So it is also, there is let's see, it is also the coastal region, and we also have a Gwadar port, which is of the utmost importance, people. So let's come back to the board, and now now this area, Balochistan, is actually known to be rich for its natural resources, and also it has a port. Now Gwadar port is a part of China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, that is CPAC. CPEC, yeah. It's a part of the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. Now, what happened? Why people are agitated in Balochistan? On one hand, it was always about the accession and their rights, which they never got. So it remains underprivileged. What Pakistan did, their core focus was towards Karachi or the Punjab provinces, but they neglected the Balochistan area, and owing to which there were several revolts that were being done from time to time, every 2 or 3 years. That these revolts were or are not concentrated, they are not together. So they come in like a surge. At times they increase, at times they touch a low, and there were different operations. There was one operation, Zarb-e-Azb, that was conducted by Pakistan to eradicate all the terrorists, be it the Taliban, be it the Baloch army, or be it the Iranian forces, be whatever it is. So they wanted to eliminate the terrorists on Pakistani soil, owing to which they launched Operation Zarb-e-Azb, which had a lot of collateral damages as well. There were a lot of youth that were abducted, they were thrown from the helicopters, a lot of human rights violations happened. It was done by the Pakistani army. Majority of it was done in Balochistan. A lot of mothers, a lot of sisters, their kids, their children, the men were abducted. They are not to be found even today. Now, there were a lot of protests by these women outside different press clubs that we want our, at least give us the dead bodies of our children, which was never given to them, so that they can perform the final rites. उन्हें दफनाने के लिए request की जा रही थी. So people were requesting to bury their loved ones, their daughters, their sons and their husbands. But all those pleas went unheard. So nothing was done. Now, imagine a mother who has lost her husband and her child as well, her son as well. What has she to live for? Will she not turn? A slight inclination or a slight bent being provided by a radicalist, anybody who's radical, will she not be okay to tie a bomb and conduct a blast? She'll be absolutely okay, because she has lost everything. So she has nothing to live for. So that is the reason you see the current bomb blasts, the agitation. There are a lot of female participants also from Balochistan. Although we have the Baloch Liberation Army, BLA, it has been formally recognized as a terrorist organization, and Pakistan successfully got it recognized as a terrorist organization. So we have the fighters of BLA, which they have taken Pakistani army to task. Time and again they conduct guerrilla operations and they kill the army personnel. On the other hand, army takes to operations like Operation Zarb-e-Azb, wherein they conduct massive, it was an air strike. They used fighter jets also to on their own soil. No country does that. Have you ever heard India using fighter jets to counter terrorism? That should not happen, because, or to counter any such movements. We have witnessed it in northeastern states, but have we used the extensive force or the the air force to such an extent? Have we used fighter jets, or have tanks or heavy machinery been deployed? heavy machine guns? No, we do not do that. The reason we don't do it, because it causes a lot of collateral damage. A lot of innocent people also lose their lives in these battles. So that is the reason we do not conduct these kind of operations, and we do not launch heavy military equipment into the internal conflicts that happen. So owing to these atrocities yet again, so now there are different tribes that exist in Balochistan, be it the Maris, the Mengals and Buktis also. So all three of them, if they unite together, that's the need of the hour. They unite, they come together, only then they can actually have a free Balochistan. But on the other hand, we were at the Gwadar port. Now, once the CPAC was being constructed, what happened here is a lot of Chinese, since it is China-Pakistan economic corridor, so a lot of laborers from China or a lot of engineers from China were deployed in Balochistan, and also there were a lot of natural resources that were not being shared. Although they originated or they exist in Balochistan, still Balochistan does not get to use them. Be it the gas or be it the oil or be it anything, they do not get an access to their own natural resources, and it is being distributed to other parts of Pakistan, and it is being sold as well. And Chinese are also now, they started exploiting Balochistan, owing to which Balochistan people said, let's kill the Chinese, and they gave an open threat to Chinese. Now two people they threatened, one is the Chinese, second is the Pak army, the Pakistani army. Now these are the primary targets for the BLA. One is the Chinese nationals who come and exploit the resources, and they do not give a share to the local Baloch. So local Baloch does not get representation, he does not get access to his own resources of his motherland. Also, they want to see the eradication of the Chinese presence, and that is what is causing the derailing of the important CPAC project, people. So if Pakistan does not address this insurgency or this issue ASAP, then it will be like another incident of, if India steps into the picture, then we will see another incident of 1971, wherein we created Bangladesh. If India decides to intervene, then this revolt will get a new boost. And a lot of Baloch leaders are also calling for United Kingdom to actually intervene, because they were the ones who did not, after partition, they were the ones who did not give a clarity, and they are the ones who are responsible for this accession of Balochistan. So they claim that United Kingdom should actually intervene and now take care of the situation, and again Balochistan should be an independent country. Now if they become independent, look at the borders that they have. They have Iran on one hand, on one side, they have Afghanistan on one side, so they are beautifully placed, and they have a port also, so they will be economically very strong. Moreover, the Baloch Liberation Army will then turn into the army of Balochistan. So they need proper training and everything, and they will be an established army, so they can defend themselves also. But if that happens, Pakistan is going to lose almost 45% of their land share, because Balochistan comprises of nearly 45% of Pakistan. So they are going to lose 45% of, so literally half of Pakistan will be gone. So we'll be left with only 50. One half was, isolated in 1971, and if the partition of Balochistan happens, they'll be losing another 50%. So a lot of people say it's RAW which is behind the funding of the BLA or the operations or the bomb blast, but that's not true, people. Yes, Prime Minister Modi did say that our heart bleeds for the people of Balochistan, because if you look at the history of Balochistan, it was being ruled, once upon a time it was a part of India as well. And now if India declares that yes, we are okay to have Balochistan as a part of India, which is not possible, because there is no direct connection, land connection. It's not connected by land with India. Rather, it has its boundaries with Iran and also Afghanistan. So, but they can be an independent nation and they have the potential and bandwidth to do so. And India, once they become independent, yes, then India can recognize them and support them openly. But will that happen? Only time will tell. And a lot of revolts again and again take place in Balochistan. Now, let's see, the name Balochistan is generally believed to derive from the name of Baloch people. Since Baloch people are not mentioned in pre-Islamic sources, it is likely that Baloch were known by some other name in their place of origin, and that was the acquired name Baloch. All right. So, and you know what? How far their culture and history is? It dates back to the to 2900 and 2350 BC, and it was also connected with the Indus Valley civilization. So that is, and Sumerians, and it is believed to have been known to the Sumerians as well, and Akka Indians. And surprisingly, I was reading this, the native language that was being spoken at that point in time was Dravidian. So we have Dravidian speaking people also out there, people. So Dravidian, by Dravidian what we mean is be it Telugu, be it Tamil, Kannada or Malayalam. So one of these four dialects are being spoken there. So however, Huntsman states that trace of it in modified. All right, so that's the history, people. See, here we go. Also, Parapola relates to name Mahoja, Indo-Aryan words Micha, Milicha, Sanskrit and Pali, etc., which do not have an Indo-European etymology, even though they were used to refer to non-Aryan people, taking them to Proto-Dravidian in origin. He interprets that the term as meaning either a proper name, Miluakam, for which Tamil. So it was Tamil people out of the four Dravidian languages that are existing now. It was Tamil that was being spoken here in Balochistan earlier. That's how far back their history goes. And during the time of Alexander the Great, the Greeks called the land Gedrosia and its people Gedrosoi, the term of unknown origin using etymological reasoning. So, and they also got an Iranian name Udravati, meaning the land of underground channels. So that's about the history of them, people. And we have a lot. So there we go. Kalat. The Hindu Seva dynasty ruled parts of Balochistan, chiefly Kalat. So that is what the Khan of Kalat is, what I was referring to. And all right, so there is just let me know. And British occupation. So in 1870, Balochistan came under the control of British Indian Empire in colonial India. All right, and that is the culture and Baloch children photographed in 2017. So that's the condition of the children out there in Balochistan, people. They do not have the resources, they do not have the funds, they do not have the privileges that a Punjabi Pakistani enjoys. Neither they are left with resources now. And primarily religion. All right, here we go. Governance and political disputes. The insurgency in Balochistan and Sistan and Balochistan insurgency. All right. So see here we go. So the number of insurgencies or the revolutions that have happened. So in 1948 was the first time, then 1958, 59, 62, 63, 73, 77. With the new ongoing low intensity insurgency beginning 2003. Historically, drivers of the conflict are reported to include tribal divisions, the Baloch Pashtun ethnic divisions, marginalized by Punjabi interests, that is the point, and economic oppression. Now this is what I was referring to. We have specific terms also given here. So they were marginalized by Pakistani Punjabi interests and economic oppression. However, over the years, insurgency waged by separatist militants declined as the result of a crackdown by Pakistani security forces in fighting amongst separatist militants and assassination of Baloch politicians willing to take part in Pakistan's democratic process by the separatist militants. Separatist militants in Pakistan demand more autonomy and greater share in the region's natural resources. The Baloch population in Pakistan has endured grave violations of human rights, which includes extrajudicial killings, enforced disappearances and torture. Now, enforced disappearances, this is what again we covered about how the common man was taken. Their target was, if they don't have men, or even the children were also abducted people, especially the male population. If they do not have a male population left, how will they operate going forward? How will they have men to fight in Baloch Liberation Army? But the Baloch women have risen and they have now taken the Pakistani army to task. The Baloch population in Pakistan has endured grave violations of human rights, which, okay, we went through this. These actions are purportedly perpetrated by the state security forces and their associates in 2019, and United States declared Baloch Liberation Army one of the separatist militants fighting the government of Pakistan a global terrorist group. So another intervention from US by declaring Baloch Liberation Army as a terrorist group. In Iran, separatist fighting has reportedly not gained as much grounds as the conflicts of Pakistan, but has grown and become more sectarian since 2012, with the majority Sunni Baloch showing great degree of Salafist and anti-Shia ideology in their fight against Shia Islamists. So a lot of conflict going on there between Iran, Pakistan and Balochistan, and that was, we can actually go much more in detail covering all the insurgencies that happened, or all the conflicts and all the operations. There were multiple operations, people. It was not Zarb-e-Azb only, but Zarb-e-Azb was the one that actually caused a lot of damage. Although Pakistan wanted to eliminate terrorism from their soil using Zarb-e-Azb, but on one hand you facilitate some organizations which are anti-India, which cause terrorism in India. Now these organizations, and on the other hand, you don't do anything. Did Operation Zarb-e-Azb clean out Lashkar-e-Taiba? No, it did not. We still have Sayyid Salahuddin sitting out there. So it was primarily to counter any Afghan related bodies, they were branded, or Balochistan outfit, military outfit that was branded as a terrorist organization, people. So this is what is the story behind Balochistan. They are being exploited, and India people await, Baloch people await stance of Indian government in regards to this. So if India decides to annex Balochistan, which might be a counter move, if Pakistan raises the temperature over the borders in Kashmir or intervenes any further, now India has, this is a fault line that India can actually exploit. It's just a thought that I have in my mind. So this is another fault line that can be cited. Balochistan can be utilized against Pakistan if they dare to, disturb India in any ways.